Welcome into New Orleans Saints Now. I'm your host, Trace Jordan. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Happy Mardi Gras, by the way. Everywhere else in the world, it's just a Tuesday. But today, to the Saints fans, to all the Cajuns, all the Coonasses out there, it is Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras to each and every one of you. But we're breaking down David Montgomery. Could he be headed to the Saints? Some salary cap news that came in over the weekend, and then the latest on Derek Carr. But before we get to that, I want to take a second to remind all of y'all to subscribe to the channel. We are the #1 spot for all your Saints news, all your Saints rumors for the draft, trade, NFL free agency, all sorts of stuff throughout the entire offseason. We do Saints coverage by Saints fans for Saints fans, so please be sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to 15,000 subs by the end of the offseason, so help us out. We're at 11,395. I know we can do it if we have all of the Who Dat Nation subscribe. All right, so let's get started on the news and rumors. I'm going to be by myself today. I'm producing this on my own, so bear with me, guys. I'm going to be looking down, looking at notes, looking at my script. But I just wanted to get you guys this content, and I wanted to explain my thoughts on should the Saints try and sign David Montgomery in NFL free agency. Now, I think that Montgomery is a very talented player, and I think that he can do a lot of really interesting things. And I think that he could open up the Saints offense and fulfill a need that the Saints currently have. And so when you take a look at his stats over the last 4 years. These are the only 4 years he's played. So we're going stats by year. 2020 and 16 game played. 201 carries, 801 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 yards per carry. 2021, 13 games played. 225 carries, 849 yards, 7 touchdowns, and just under 4 yards per tote. 2020, he had 15 games played, 247 carries, 1,000 yards. His only 1,000-yard season so far, 8 touchdowns, 4.3 yards per carry. And then in 2019, his rookie campaign, 16 games played, 242 yards or carries, 889 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3.7 yards per carry. And I think that David Montgomery is one of those players that you could really get a lot out of. And I think that he could fill the Saints running back depth chart really well. And honestly, I don't think you have to break the bank over him. I mean, he's a really good running back, but I think that it's one of those things at this point, the running back market is going to be driven up by a ton by Saquon Barkley if he gets cut and gets signed somewhere. But if he doesn't get cut, if the Saints can make this happen sooner rather than later, I think that they could sweep in, come in, and bring some money or bring Monty in for not a ton of money. And my take on all of this, maybe you do have to pay him the bag, maybe you don't. I just don't necessarily think you would have to. That's just me personally. Could you, if you did this, you could bring back Boom and Zoom. And if we all remember as Saints fans, that's when the Saints offense was at its best. When Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara were boom and zoom. And my favorite part about all this is Monty can handle the running back one snaps, and he can handle that workload while Kamara serves his suspension that he is currently facing. And on top of all of it, Montgomery's always been one of those running backs who's always thrived whenever he has another guy there, just like Alvin Kamara. So I think that this could actually be a pretty interesting idea for the Saints to go and explore. I think that the Saints could potentially pull it off, but at the end of the day, the show isn't about me. The show is about you, the Who Dat Nation, and I want you to take a second and let me know. Should the Saints go and sign David Montgomery? Type S for sign, type P for pass. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break. If you do, take advantage of it and let me know. All right, moving on to some salary cap news. This came in through over the weekend. Erik McCoy, the center, if you remember, he got extended last offseason, and then this offseason, he's now been restructured. They have restructured his contract to save about $8 million just in terms of their salary cap, which is, we all knew going into the offseason was about $60 million over. But this also comes in just as a reminder, the Saints did restructure safety Marcus May's contract, freeing up about $4.9, around $5 million as a whole. But I'm going to get into the general team salary cap numbers and kind of how we can clear up some more space here in just a second. But I want to take a quick moment and tell y'all all about our awesome sponsor, Fume. Today's Saints Now is sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits, and we certainly know how hard it can be to kick those bad habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I didn't expect much out of Fume when I first got it, but the mentee sensation is really powerful and it hits the back of the throat. And honestly, my favorite thing about it is how great the flavors are. The Journey Pack comes with 3 awesome flavors, including maple pepper, crisp mint, and white cranberry. It comes in this awesome sleek boxing. It's really nice in your hands. It's pretty heavy, feels good to use. Fume is not a vape. It's an electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. Head to tryfume.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS to save 10% when you get their Journey Pack today. That's tryfume.com/chatsports. tryfum.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS to save an additional 10% off your order today. Like I said, it's awesome. I'm a big fan of it. I've been using it for a while. Great device. Go get started. The link will be in the comment section and the description of today's video. All right, so the updated salary cap numbers currently look like this. The Saints have saved about 12.9 million, just under $13 million. They're still about $45 million over the cap. If you look at Spotrac, if you look at over the cap, they both have numbers close to that. So I'm just going to meet in the middle and say around $45 million to make it easy for everyone. And there's actually some pretty big name players that you can restructure right away, and it would do a lot and free up a lot of space for you. And if you take a look at this, Cameron Jordan, you could free up about $10 million. Marshon Lattimore, free up about $10 million. Ryan Ramczyk, 9.6. Demario Davis, 5.8, and Tyrann Mathieu, 4.3. And this all comes by converting money to signing bonuses, to roster bonuses, to incentives, to all sorts of extra stuff to make the money eventually hit their accounts. But it's just it's coming, but it's gonna come, whenever you hit the benchmarks and stuff, and then that's when everything gets all kind of, really shaky and really confusing. I honestly am still trying to do my best to learn more about the salary cap. I don't want to say anything too incorrect, so I'm going to bite my tongue here. But with all of this, the Saints have, we'll do this, the Saints could be within about $7.2 million of the spending limit, which would be huge. And that would mean the Saints could bring in a guy like Derek Carr. They could bring a guy like David Montgomery. They could even maybe bring in a guy like, I don't know, Lamar Jackson. If you have to go crazy, I don't know. Again, speculation. It's thoughts. It's fun. It's a YouTube channel. We're here to have some fun, be entertaining, and be informative. But as I said off the top of the show, happy Mardi Gras, Who Dat Nation. Let the good times roll. I want you to tell me in the comment section, what is your favorite king cake filling? My mom, we always order one from Coluda's. This year we ended up getting one from Gambino's. I got the strawberry and cream cheese filling, just amazing. Put all the sugar, put all the icing on it. It's incredible. Took it over to some friends' houses yesterday, had a little Mardi Gras party. What's left of the cake is still delicious. Had it for breakfast. But at the end of the day, king cake is one of the greatest things ever invented. I want you to let me know, what's your favorite king cake filling and where do you get it from? All right, so the latest on Derek Carr, there is no rush for Derek Carr to make a signing. The reports coming in are saying that Derek Carr, he is going to look at his free agency, and it's going to be a long process. And Derek Carr's brother did say this, and I find this pretty interesting. He wants to do his due diligence and see as many places as he can to get a feel for what the best place for him will be. And I think that it's interesting coming from your brother. I mean, I got a little brother. I'm sure most of y'all have little siblings, and they're the ones who know what's going on more than anything. And if my little brother was ever going to spill some beans like that, I'd want him to keep it pretty base level and very open-ended, just like Derek Carr's brother did. And here's my top 5 destinations for Derek Carr. I've shown this graphic a handful of times. We made some changes, but this is going to be the 5 that I think I'm going to stick with. Carolina, I might take out later, but I'll explain. The Saints, I've gone into great detail as to why I think the Saints could make it happen or make sense. Not going to go into it a ton again. It's a good fit. Dennis Allen has a good familiarity with him. There's culture fit. It just makes sense to me, and Saints need a quarterback. Derek Carr could be a good veteran. The Jets, another team to look out for. They did bring Derek Carr in for a visit. Things seem to have gone really, really well. They really like what they see out of Derek Carr. They really like the meeting, enjoyed the meeting they had with him. So that's a team to be watching out for, especially considering the Aaron Rodgers situation. We don't know if he's going to go to Vegas. We don't know if he's going to go to New York. Who knows? So the Jets are a team to monitor. Another one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have no quarterback. It's Blaine Gabbert, Kyle Trask. You know, they got nothing. And funny enough, with all of this contract information, contract updates, the Saints are actually now second to last in terms of the most, or the least amount of cap space, or the most over the cap they are. Guess who number 32 is? It's the Bucs. Haha, suck it, Tampa. We gotta love that. Tennessee Titans, another team to monitor. They might be moving on from Ryan Tannehill. They might not be able to go and pull off a trade for a guy like Trey Lance, or maybe pull off a trade for an Aaron Rodgers. It could happen, it couldn't, but that's a team who might be looking to move on in terms of a newer quarterback. I don't know if they're sold on Malik Willis. I think Derek Carr could be a guy they look into. And the Panthers, they have an early draft pick. They could be a team to watch out for. I've seen some on Twitter, a lot of Derek Carr edits, a lot of buzz, a lot of people saying, Derek, come to Carolina. You look good in blue. Everyone knows you look best in gold. My thing over all of this, I just want my quarterback. I just want my quarterback. Is this too much to ask? I'm so tired of talking about, is it Derek Carr? Is it going to be Jimmy G? Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers trade? Could it be Lamar Jackson somehow? What about all the trade quarterbacks? What about Andy Dalton or Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston? At this point, I'm just exhausted trying to figure out what it could be. Can we please make something happen soon? One, so we can get the locker room set and together and getting to know each other and build some chemistry and some cohesiveness. But two, so we can just figure out what the plan is and where we're going to go with the rest of this offseason. And guys, it was a fun video. It was a little bit of a longer one. Not too much of a longer one, though. And I want to take a quick second to show some love to all of you. For every single one of you that are still watching and you're subscribed, I want you to go in the comment section and type real one. So I'm not going to be able to get to a full list of shout outs this week because we're not going live on Saints Now on Wednesday. But next week on Wednesday, I'm going to give a shout out to every single one of y'all who comment. On tomorrow's video, I'm going to give a shout out to 5 people who comment. So if you want a guaranteed shout out, comment real one below. If you want a better chance at getting a shout out, type it a handful of times. The more times you type it, the more times the better your chances to get a shout out. Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden. It's always a pleasure. Happy Mardi Gras. Y'all have fun. Be safe, and we'll catch you next time.